Alright, in this video we'll see how to create a booking appointment system in WordPress. So this is a WordPress plugin that we would be creating. So now what it does, let me show you what it does. Consider we have 4 doctors, and if you want to add doctor, that can also be possible. Now let me choose Dr. Vishal and let me choose a slot 10 to 11, and if I click on book, you'll see a pop-up shows up. Who is this for the assignment? Let's say UI Monk. If I click on submit, you'll see the data got saved and it says booking successful. Now in this, if I refresh the page, you will see the 10 to 11 slot is booked. You can't select it again, so that means it got disabled. You can't select that. Similarly, this booking for this doctor, these 2 bookings are booked. You can't select it. Now where the books are getting saved, where the bookings are getting saved. So here if I refresh, you'll see we have created a custom CPT and doctor bookings. So over here for the Dr. Vishal, we have a patient called UI Monk with this number and the slot is 10 to 11. Cool. So the bookings are listed in the doctors booking submenu of this CPT doctors. So let me show you how to add a doctor. So when you create, so this is how you'll be adding a doctor. Let's say Kent. So the department is urologist, and to set the feature image, click on the feature image. Let's choose the doctor, this one, and click on publish. So once you publish, the archive page is generated. So this is the archive page. You can see /doctors. So if I refresh it, you'll see one more doctor got added, which is Kent. And again, if I book some of the doctor, let's book the Peter Parker, and it's again 10 to 11, and the slot is for Joe's and any random number. Click on submit, and now you'll see booking is successful. So this bookings can be viewed in the CPT submenu called doctor's booking. Peter Parker has a patient Joe's with on the time slot 10 to 11, and this is his phone number. Now to conclude, what are the features that we are going to see? We are going to see how to create a custom post type and meta box. So custom post type is nothing but doctors is the custom post type. If I click on doctors, you'll see the list of doctors that got displayed, and if I click on add post, you'll see you can add a new doctor along with the meta box. This is the new meta box, which is department. Usually we have a text editor. I have removed the text editor and added the meta box over here. And how to create WP list view, list table. So all the doctors are in this doctor menu. For all the bookings are in this sub menu. So by default, WordPress will give you only title and date. So this featured image and the timing slot, the name and phone number are added by us through custom code. Similarly for doctors is again a post type. By default, title and date would show up, this one, and the photo, the department and bookings, these are actually the custom post types, where we'll see how to add the WP list table customizable. Now again the archive page. Whenever we add a doctor, an archive page would be there, and the archive page will loop all the created doctors. As of now, we have 5 doctors in this page. And AJAX handling, as we have seen, the page gets saved without getting refreshed. So if I click on submit again, it says booking saved, and now 10 to 11 slot is booked. So without page refresh, the booking happens. And then we have a condition. As said, the condition is nothing but you'll see the listed the appointment. Once you have booked, you are not allowed to book it again. So that's possible because of the advanced condition. We'll see how to implement this as well. Now without wasting time, what are the things that we need? We need a WordPress locally installed, and we need to get into the plugins folder and create a new folder called appointment. And since this is, we need to create a PHP file, and this PHP file should have the file name similar to your current plugin. So here the plugin is appointment. Let's get into that, and appointment.php all file. Cool. Now what we need to do is we need to make our plugin show on this particular page. in the plugins. So before that, let me just deactivate the old one so that it doesn't get conflict with the new plugin. Now we need a comment, so UI monk appointment, and this is a description, and then we have version, and then we have the author name, also known as Vishal. Now this is enough to make your plugin view on this particular page, viewable on the particular page. So this is book appointment. If I click on activate, as of now we don't have any code, it doesn't matter. But let's it's already deactivated. Let me, if you want, you can delete this as well. Now what we need to do is a custom post type that need to be registered. So let's create a custom post type, and this custom post type will run a custom post type function on the init hook. When the init hook is called, our function will get triggered. So the custom post type is appointment, and the label would be APPOINTMENT. Cool. And we are making the archive true. That's only that's only when this CPT will have a archive that will list all the added doctors, and we need only title and a thumbnail. If that is enough, you'll see the CPT on the sidebar. If I refresh, you'll see appointment. So if I click on appointment, we will see only two fields: custom field, sorry, title and featured image. Now we need a custom field. To create a custom field, we need to add a hook. So this hook is actually add meta boxes. So here we will have an input field. So since this is custom post type, the meta box will be stored in the WP post meta, and we can access the WP post meta with the help of function called get post meta. We just need to pass the post ID, and this is a key, and this is a key. Whatever the value is stored in the input field will act as a value. So this is key and this is value. We are creating an input field for the department of the doctor. Now we just need to have the CPT linked, and this is the place where we want our meta box to show up. If you add this as side, you will see the sidebar. So let's see the meta box in action. It will be in the sidebar, so you can see that department has shown up. If you want as a regular flow, just make this normal. Now you'll see in the normal flow. Now what happens is we want to save our meta box along with the post data. So for that, what we need to do is we need to attach our meta box data to the save post hook. So let's do that. So if there is a save post hook that got in, we are attaching a function on the save hook. So we are getting the doctor, we are making sure that this CPT is actually doctor CPT, and we are making sure that our department has actually a value. So if there is a value that can be accessed with the help of post superglobal variable, and we would be updating the WP post meta table with the help of update post meta. This is a key and this is a value. So you can see this value gets stored here, and that off you will see our new post getting saved. So let's say the doctor name as Peter Parker, and the department is and the featured image, let's just set the featured image as this one. And if you click on set featured image and click on publish, you have saved the first doctor. So if I click on appointments, so actually this should be doctor, not appointment, but you can understand it's just a tutorial purpose. Now as said, by default we have title and date, and what we want our featured image, we want our custom field which is department to show up on this table. So for that, what we need to do is we need to filter, we need to modify a hook with the help of filter, and that is this one. So in this place we just need to add our CPT. Our CPT is appointment, and just replace the doctor with CPT. That's it. And we need photo, we need department, we need bookings. We don't need because bookings doesn't work for this plugin. And now you'll see the photo and department has got add. So this is how we add our custom column to the CPT's WP list table. Now we want the relevant data, so we need to check with this array as a column, and again we'll be modifying a hook, and this will have the CPT name, you see CPT name will act as a placeholder and everything else as it is. So these are the column header and these are the actual data. So these are, as said, these are metadata, and that can be accessed with the help of get post meta. And since it's thumbnail, we'll be using this function, and that's enough to make our meta boxes viewable on this page. Department is not showing up. It's because, let's first see whether we have added the department or not. Yes, it has not got saved. And why it not save? Because save post. Yeah, if the CPT is appointment, then only store it. That's the reason it has not got saved. If I click on publish, and to make sure if it is saved or not, we need to refresh it again. So if the data persists, that means this line worked fine, and this line got the department and added it in the place of value. I have replaced it and it works. Now consider this a doctors list, and you can also change the label name to doctors. So refresh it, you will see the label as doctors. Cool. Now let me make yeah, it would be confusion, but you have to understand. If you want, let's just add one more doctor. And what's the Superman name? Clark Kent. And the department is cardiology. We are setting the featured image of this doctor and click on publish. So now two doctors has got added with the help of CPT custom post type, and it's displaying in the form of WP list table. So the second step is we need to display these value in the archive. So to make this work, we need to write a code. If the CPT is appointment, then if the CPT is appointment is the handle for this particular CPT. If the CPT is appointment, then call the archive dot appointment page. Now whatever you write, that will be accessible. If I make a view, you will see it won't work as of now because this is not understandable by the WordPress. So to make it work, we have to rewrite the URL. So to rewrite the URL, we usually do by changing the by updating the permalink. So if you update the permalink, WordPress rewrites the URL again and understands that the CPT that we have created actually has a URL. So now if you refresh, this is blank. The reason it's blank is we have said if the post type is appointment, then display this URL. Display this what? This archive page. This archive page is empty now. Now what do we need? In this appointment page, we want the list of all CPT, so list of all doctors. That doctor is actually the CPT called appointment. Let's do that. What we have done is we have looped all the data from the CPT appointments. So first you will see we have a query where all the appointments are selected. -1 means alls. The post type is appointment, and we are creating an array for the slots, which will come in the drop down. So we'll look at this code later because this is responsible for if it is booked, then don't then disable the select tag, option tag. So we'll see that later on, and just understand we are displaying the image which we got here, and we are displaying the name which we got here. This is the department, and this is the booked information. Whether it's booked or not, we'll see at the end. Don't look at the logic now. It's just a CRUD operation now. It is just displaying all the value which is from the CPT appointment, and that got displayed. Along with that, we have a code for the pop-up. So if I click on book, you will see a pop-up. It is asking to select something. A pop-up shows up. So this is the pop-up, and once I enter something, click on submit, an AJAX request would be sent. So this is the place where the AJAX request is getting appended. So we are creating a form object, and we are adding the data that need to be stored, so that we understand that who actually booked which doctor, which patient has actually booked which doctor, along with these information. So we need current doctor data, we need current time slot, we need the name which is in the field, we need the phone which is in the field, and we are sending this data with the help of form object. And make sure there is an action. So this action will be responsible for manipulating the received data through AJAX, and we are sending the AJAX to the admin-ajax.php. Now since we are sending the value, we need a receiver that manipulates this data. So for that we need to make sure this action attribute, we need to understand this action attribute, and then simply attach our action attribute just after here, wp hyphen wp underscore ajax underscore whatever is there in the option tag. So option value. So now what we need to fetch all the values from the ajax request, and what we need is we are checking whether the value is there, and we are checking whether we are actually selecting the doctor who is proper. These are validation, we don't have to worry about it. And now what we are doing is, since we are going to create a custom post type again, so this custom post type will only have the information of bookings. So the CPT we are going to have is doctor bookings, or you can say doctor booking data. This is the CPT that we will be creating, and we will be filling these values to this CPT. So this CPT will only have title, and rest all the values we will store in the WP post meta. So you can see we are creating a WP post meta, and these are the key, and the value will be getting from the post super global variable, which we are assigning as the second parameter. We are passing the ID, doctor ID, we are passing the name, we are passing the slot, we are passing the name, we are passing the patient name, we are passing the patient phone, and this is the time, and we are sending the message book successfully. Now if I make an appointment, click on submit, it says he's an invalid doctor. Now if I make a refresh, let me try again, some name, click on submit, it says again invalid doctor. Let me see what it is. Maybe there could be a problem. It is because it's looking for the CPT doctor. So our CPT is actually appointment, APPOINTMENT. And let's try again. 10 to 11, Clark Kent, and Vishal is the patient name, and he says booked. Now we need a CPT on this page as a submenu. So for that, what we will do is, let's register post again. So this post type is actually what we have already created, booking data. This is the angle, and ATI patients bookings. Now the CPT, since we need it as a sub menu, we need to get this handle and pass it over here. So edit.php post type is appointment. Now this is enough to make your submenu available on the CPT doctors. Now you can see patients booking are active. Now when I click on it, what should happen? I need a table. So there is actually a table. Along with that, what we need is, we want the doctor details, we want the doctor's department, we want the patient name, we want the patient phone number. Similar to what we have already done, we have to do it again. We need to look for the filter, and this filter has a placeholder that we need to replace with our custom CPT handler. Now we have slot, and the column is set. Now what we need is, we want the data. Now similar to what we have already done earlier, we need to create another hook, and this hook will have the CPT placeholder here. This is this one, and that will have all the data. Let me just fill it again. 10 to 11, booking, the name, submit, is got booked. If I refresh this, you should see the data that got added. Now let's try booking one more slot, 11 to 12. Click on submit, and the name as JAWS, and we got the data as booked. Let's just refresh this page and try adding. Check whether the booking is there or not. Doctor is there, slot 11. Now let's focus on disabling the options. So for that, what happens is we need to create a array, so that array will hold all the values. So let's now, whenever there is a booking, there is one more CPT which is called booking data. So whenever there is a new booking, there is a one custom post type which holds all the information, including the slot, including the patient name, including the doctor ID. So once we have access to that custom post type, here in this case is booking data, we have access to all the slots of a particular doctor. Now we are querying with the help of meta query. We are querying if the particular doctor, consider this doctor, has the, so we have one CPT which is doctor, and another CPT with another CPT which is this one. So here there is a primary key called ID, and here there is a foreign key called doctor ID. So that's what I am passing here. So for this booking data CPT, we have a foreign key, and that should match with this primary key of the doctor. If this matches, and yes, if it matches, what we need is we need the CPT. So this will have a post meta. So again, this will have another table, WP underscore post meta, which will have a field called slot, and this slot will be multiple columns or multiple rows. For each booking, there would be individual rows, and to access that, we are using post meta, and we are passing the doctor ID over here. So this is doctor ID, and this is a slot, and we would have multiple, so that's why we are having it in the form of array. Now if this slot, let's say 10 to 11, is matches with one of these value, and if it matches, then I am placing the displayed attribute. If not, there is blank. So this has a very deep logic. I hope I have made it clear. If not, here there is going to be a foreign key and primary key relationship, and this is primary key, this is foreign key. Again, this booking data has another foreign key relationship with the table WP post meta, and here the for each booking, individual row would be created. Since this is a doctor, the doctor can have multiple bookings. You can see these are the slots of bookings. So either one particular doctor will have, let's say, 10 to 11, and this 10 to 11 is there on this drop down, also on this table. If those two matches, then the attribute disabled added on the option. So similarly, if I make a refresh, it will check for the doctor Peter Parker 11 to 12 is there. For Peter Parker 11 to 12 is already there. If there is already a data, then these two matches, and then displayed attribute will get appended. And now since it's disabled, you won't be able to select it. I hope the scope of this video is done. Thank you so much for listening. And if you wish to add one more doctor, let me just show you adding it. Add post, and cardiologist, and what could be new. So something in mind, Professor X, and click on, let's say, doctor, click on publish. Now you should see in the archive page Professor X, and let's book Professor X 12 to 1. Click on book and give some value, submit, and Professor X data would be stored on the submenu of doctors. So Professor X 10 to 11, Joe Ansel is the patient, and if I see on 12 to 1 slot, it would be disabled because data got already stored in the post meta and it matches with our drop down array, and if those matches then displayed attribute will be added in the HTML. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening.